Welcome back, everyone. Ready to dive into another book?
Absolutely. Always excited to explore new stories.
Well, today we're taking a look at The 3 Mistakes of My Life by Chetan Bhagat.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of this one. It's supposed to be pretty intense.
It definitely packs an emotional punch. And the setting is really interesting. Ahmedabad, India.
I don't know much about Ahmedabad. What's it like?
Well, you can think of it as this vibrant, bustling city with a rich history, but it's also grappling with modern challenges, the kind that come with rapid growth and change.
So there's this tension between the old and the new. I see. And how does cricket fit into all of this?
Oh, it's not just a sport in this story. It's woven into the very fabric of their lives. It's like a driving force, a passion that unites and divides at the same time.
That's interesting. So it's not just a backdrop. It's like a character itself, almost.
Exactly. It shapes their relationships, their dreams, and even their destinies. Now let's meet the heart of the story, our 3 main characters.
All right, I'm all ears.
First, we have Govind, our narrator.
Yeah.
And he's quite a character.
Oh.
Well, he's ambitious, a real go-getter. He's always analyzing everything, thinking 10 steps ahead.
Kind of like a chess player, always strategizing.
Yeah, you could say that there's this drive in him, this hunger to succeed. And not just in the typical sense.
What do you mean by that?
Well, remember how he compares his knack for teaching math to his mother's talent for making those traditional Gujarati snacks?
I don't recall that specifically.
It's a small detail, but it speaks volumes. It's like he's trying to find his own recipe for success, just like his mother has perfected hers in the kitchen.
I see. He wants to create something of his own, make his mark.
Exactly. And this ambition leads him and his 2 best friends, Isha and Omi, on a pretty unusual adventure.
What did they get up to?
They decide to open a cricket shop. Now, that might not sound too out there.
Well, considering their love for cricket, it kind of makes sense.
True. But here's the twist. They set up shop right in the middle of a temple complex.
Whoa, hold on. A cricket shop inside a temple? That's unexpected.
Right. It's like Bhagat is deliberately setting up this clash of worlds, this tension between the sacred and the secular.
And what about Omi's uncle, the one who runs the temple trust? How does he react to this?
Oh, Bittu Mama is not too thrilled about it. He represents the old guard, steeped in tradition, very cautious of change.
So he's probably thinking, cricket equipment in a holy place. What are these youngsters up to?
Exactly. It creates this interesting conflict between generations, between those clinging to tradition and those pushing for something new.
It sounds like Bhagat is really setting the stage for some major clashes, even beyond this cricket shop idea.
Oh, absolutely. And then comes Vizya, who throws another wrench into the works.
Vidya, who's that?
She's Ishan's younger sister.
Why?
And let me tell you, she's a force to be reckoned with. She's brilliant, aiming for medical school.
Sounds like she's got her life planned out.
Yeah, but here's the thing. She absolutely hates math.
Wait, isn't math kind of important for a med student?
You'd think so, right. But Vidya is full of these contradictions. She's driven, yet rebellious, ambitious, but also wants to break free from expectations.
She sounds like a fascinating character, so complex.
Oh, she is. And to complicate things further, there's this undeniable spark between her and Govind.
Oh, so there's a romantic angle, too.
Absolutely. But it's not a simple love story. It's tangled up in societal expectations, unspoken desires, and a whole lot of tension.
It sounds like their relationship reflects the larger struggle between tradition and modernity in Ahmedabad.
Exactly. It's a microcosm of that larger conflict playing out on a personal level. And amidst all of this, there's cricket, the one thing that brings them together, at least at first.
So even amidst all this complexity, cricket is the common ground.
It is, initially. But even that gets complicated when Ali enters the picture.
Who's Ali?
He's this young Muslim boy with extraordinary cricketing talent. He joins their coaching sessions and, well, things get interesting.
Interesting in what way?
Well, Omi, influenced by his uncle's views, starts to distance himself from Ali.
Because of religious differences.
Sadly, yes. The rising religious tension in the city starts to seep into their friendship. It's a stark reminder of how easily prejudice can shatter even the closest bonds.
It sounds like Bhagat isn't shying away from showing the darker side of this world.
He's not sugarcoating anything. He's presenting a raw, honest portrayal of these characters and the society they live in.
And what about Ali's exceptional talent? Is there more to it?
Oh, there's a fascinating detail there. Bhagat attributes Ali's ability to a unique neurological condition.
Wow, so there's like a scientific explanation for his skill.
Exactly. It's like he has this almost superhuman ability to process information and react with incredible speed.
So on one hand, he's gifted, but on the other, this difference makes him a target in a society already rife with tension.
It's a brilliant move by Bhagat, using this condition to highlight the challenges faced by minorities. They're often seen as both exceptional and threatening, admired and feared at the same time.
It's a powerful way to portray the complexities of prejudice and how it can manifest in unexpected ways.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And this underlying tension sets the stage for some dramatic events that are about to unfold.
Okay, I'm definitely hooked. Now I need to know what happens next. You know, it's almost like Bhagat saying that beneath all the surface stuff, there's this deeper layer of unrest in Ahmedabad.
Oh, absolutely. And then, bam, the earthquake hits.
Oh, yeah, I'd almost forgotten about that. Just devastates everything, right?
Yeah, it's like the whole city, their lives, everything just crumbles.
And for Govind, losing his shop, that must have been...
Oh, a huge blow. All that work, all that hope, just gone.
But there's that one scene, Vidya's note to Govind really gets to me.
Yeah, in the middle of all that chaos, there's this small act of kindness,
Like a little flower pushing up through the cracks in the pavement.
Exactly. It's like even with everything falling apart around them, their connection is growing stronger.
Reminds me of that saying, what doesn't kill you?
Makes you stronger.
Yeah.
But stronger doesn't always mean easier, right?
Especially with those two. It's like the earthquake shook loose all these unspoken feelings.
Oh, the tension is palpable. Those stolen glances, the secret meetings, it's all very charged.
You can really feel that push and pull between them. The attraction, but also the fear, the guilt.
Yeah, societal expectations, family ties, all that stuff weighs heavily on them. And through it all, you've got Ishan, laser focused on Ali's cricket career.
He's like, earthquake, riots, whatever. We gotta get this kid to Australia.
Right. Almost like he's in denial about the gravity of the situation back home.
Eh.
But hey, who hasn't been blinded by their own passion sometimes?
True enough. But that Godra train burning incident, man, talk about a turning point.
It's like a gut punch. It just rips through the story, exposes all the raw hatred that was simmering beneath the surface.
And Omi's brother, Tiraj, caught right in the middle of it.
Just a senseless tragedy. And poor Omi, consumed by grief, turns to the one person he shouldn't for guidance.
Bitu, mama. Yeah, he's like gasoline on a fire.
Oh, he's a master manipulator. Uses this tragedy to fuel his own agenda, points the finger at Ali and his family.
And Govind, caught in the crossfire, he freezes, hesitates.
It's that moment of inaction, that split-second decision that changes everything.
And the consequences, man, their brutal relationships shattered, lives lost.
It's heartbreaking. You see these characters wrestling with guilt, anger. It's like the whole world is collapsing around them.
And Govind, he realizes that his ambition, his dreams, they might have blinded him to the real dangers lurking beneath the surface.
It's like that saying, be careful what you wish for. Sometimes success comes at a terrible price. And that's where the true weight of those three mistakes really hits home.
It's not a Hollywood ending, that's for sure. But it's real, Life rarely ties things up in a neat little bow.
It makes you think about those what ifs. What if Govind had acted differently? What if the riots hadn't happened?
Exactly. It forces you to confront the messy reality of choices and consequences.
And that ending, with Govind dedicating his life to helping Ali.
There's a kind of redemption in that, right? Trying to make amends for the past.
It's not about forgetting what happened. But maybe it's about finding a way to live with it, to create something good out of the wreckage.
And that attempt to reconnect with Ishan shows that even those broken bonds, those deep wounds, maybe there's a chance for healing.
It's like that thread of hope that runs through the entire story. No matter how dark things get, there's always a possibility for something better.
Yeah, Bhagat's really good at capturing those small glimmers of light amidst the darkness, It's what makes his writing so compelling. Like that scene with Ishan bowling to Ali at the end.
Oh, that one gave me chills. It's like a full circle moment, a return to that shared passion that brought them together in the first place.
It's beautiful, but also bittersweet, right? Knowing everything they've been through, all the pain and loss.
And the way Bhagat describes it all, he uses such vivid language. You could practically feel the dust swirling around them, hear the thud of the ball hitting the bat.
Yeah, it's like you're right there in the middle of it, experiencing everything alongside the characters.
It's what makes this story so powerful, so unforgettable. It stays with you long after you finished reading.
Now, here's something to ponder. Throughout the novel, we see how even the best intentions can go wrong. Gavin's 3 mistakes, they weren't born out of malice, right? He was trying to do good, but
But things spiraled out of control.
yeah.
It makes you wonder, how do we navigate a world where even our good intentions can lead to devastating consequences?
It's a question we all grapple with, I think. How do we balance our desires with the potential for unintended harm? How do we make choices we can live with?
And on a larger scale, how do we as a society confront issues like religious intolerance and political manipulation? These aren't just plot devices in the novel. They're real-world challenges we all face.
It's a lot to unpack, that's for sure. But I think that's the power of a good story. It makes you think, it makes you question, it makes you see the world in a new light.
And ultimately, I think the 3 mistakes in my life reminds us that even in the face of tragedy, there's always a possibility for growth, for redemption, for finding meaning in the messiness of life.
It's a story about friendship, ambition, love, loss. It's a story about being human in all its complexity.
Well said. So, to all our listeners out there, we hope this deep dive into the 3 mistakes of my life has left you with some food for thought.
And maybe even inspired you to pick up the book and experience this incredible story for yourselves.
Thanks for joining us on this journey. We'll see you next time for another deep dive into the world of literature.